I'm Lucas, 28, a guy who once thought love was solid until Mia, my girlfriend of 3 years, smashed it to pieces. That night, at a sushi joint in Portland, soy sauce thick in the air, she leaned in and asked, "What if we opened things up?" Her voice floated light, like picking a new dish. I nodded, though my heart sank like stone, just to keep her. But Mia took off, dating and laughing loud with strangers, leaving me like an old coat in the rain. I turned to Nora, her best friend, who quietly calmed the storm inside me. Then one night, we crossed the line. Mia found out and screamed I'd betrayed her, as if she hadn't drawn the path I walked. She tried pulling me back, but I saw it clear. I'm not her anchor to cling to anymore. Lies shattered, rage flared, and a secret in a letter turned to ash before my eyes. My life's a movie now, raw and thrilling, full of twists. Want to hear how I got lost and clawed my way back to myself? Stick around. I still feel that night in my bones. Mia and I sit at a sushi bar in Portland, soy sauce sharp in the air, chopsticks idle in my hand. 3 years together, and she picks this moment to shift the ground beneath me. "What if we opened things up?" she says, leaning across the table. Her voice floats light, like she's suggesting a new beer to try. My gut twists, heavy as stone sinking in dark water, but I love her. I've loved her since she spilled coffee on my shirt at a bookshop and laughed it off, since she pulled me into the rain to dance that first summer. So I mutter, "Sure," hoping it'll hold her close. It doesn't. Her dark eyes spark, and she's already spinning tales of growth and freedom, words that glitter but sting like salt in a cut. I poke at my sashimi, the fish slick under dim lights, and nod. She doesn't see my jaw clench or the chill creeping into the room. Days later, she's out with Caleb. I hear his name over breakfast, casual as she scrolls her phone. "He's chill," she says, grinning at some text. Then it's Theo the next night, a bearded guy with a laugh she mimics while I scrub a plate in the loft's cramped kitchen. She bursts home each time, words fizzing like soda. "It's electric, Lucas," she chirps, kicking off her boots. I slump on the couch, rain tapping the window, feeling like a coat left in the damp, frayed at the edges. The loft once hummed with us, her off-key humming, our late talks. Now it's her playground, and I'm a ghost fading into the walls. She doesn't ask how I'm doing. She doesn't notice the weight settling in my chest. One evening, she shoves her phone at me. "Give it a shot," she urges, her grin wide. I take it, the screen glowing with profiles, smiling faces I can't stomach. I swipe twice, then stop. "Not my thing," I say, handing it back. She shrugs. "You'll get there," she replies, like I'm lagging in a race I never joined. I don't argue. I watch her tap her screen, planning another night, her fingers quick and eager. The rain drums steady outside, a rhythm counting down to something I can't dodge. I tell myself I'm fine, that this is her need, not mine. But my chest thuds, a dull ache I can't shake, and I wonder how long I can keep pretending. A week into this chaos, I find her sketchbook. I'm hunting for my keys, muttering curses, when my fingers brush its worn leather under the couch. I pull it out, flip it open, expecting her doodles of flowers or half-written songs. Instead, I see scribbles about spreading wings, notes like "test the waters" and "live free," dated months back. October, November, December, all before that sushi bar night. My throat tightens, the ink blurring as I read. She'd been plotting this, dreaming it quiet while I thought we were steady. I sit there, the book heavy in my lap, rain pounding now. I wanted to confront her, but the words stuck, drowned in the storm's drone. She didn't suggest this on impulse. She'd been sketching an exit, letting me believe we were whole while she planned to fly. I close the book, shove it back, and stand slow. My keys jingle, but I freeze. The crack's too wide now, and I can't unsee it. She comes home that night, buzzing about Jake, some funny guy she met. "He's a riot," she says, tossing her jacket down, blind to the tempest in me. I nod, grab a beer from the fridge, and sit by the window. City lights blur through wet glass, and I sip slow, the cold bottle anchoring me. Her laughter cuts the quiet, a sound I used to chase. Now it's a blade, carving deeper. I finish the beer, set it down, and stare at the empty glass. Her phone buzzes on the table, a name I don't know lighting the screen. She doesn't grab it, just keeps talking. But I catch the glow. I turn away, the reins beat steady in my ears and feel the shift. She's slipping, or maybe I am. Either way, something's coming, and I'm not sure I'm ready. Mia's laughter echoes through the loft now, spilling from late calls with guys whose names blur in my head. I drift through it all. A kite cut loose in her wind, no string to reel me in. She's out every night, boots thudding off as she flops on the couch, buzzing about her latest fling. I nod, my chest hollow, a drum with no rhythm. The sketchbook weighs on me, its scribbled plans like a map she's followed alone. I don't call her out. The words stick, jagged in my throat, and I swallow them down. She doesn't see me fading, doesn't catch the silence thickening around me. One night, it breaks. Her phone pings, another stranger's name glowing, and I can't breathe in that air anymore. I grab mine, text Nora, Mia's oldest friend. Can we talk? I hesitate, then hit send. She replies quick, meet me at the pier. I'm gone before Mia glances up. Nora stands there, wind tugging her hair, grey eyes steady as I approach. Waves slap the pier's wooden legs, and the salt air loosens the knot in my lungs. You holding up? She asks, voice soft but sure. I shrug, hands shoved deep in my pockets. Mia's thriving without me. She studies me, head tilted. She's always chased the spotlight, Lucas. Doesn't mean you're dim. Her words settle, warm and firm, a stone I can clutch when everything slips. We talk, the water churning below, and I let it pour out. Caleb, Theo, Jake, the sketchbook I can't erase. She listens, nods, her calm cutting through my storm. She's restless, she says. Always has been. I kick a pebble into the waves. I'm not enough to hold her, I mutter. She steps closer, her sleeve brushing mine. You're enough for someone. Our eyes lock, and a spark flickers, faint but real. We meet more after that, strolls through botanic gardens, her pointing out ferns while our shoulders bump, dinners at her cramped flat with chipped mugs. Nora's steady, a lighthouse in the fog Mia's wrapped me in. One evening, under ivy-draped trellises, her hand grazes mine, lingering a beat too long. I don't pull away, and she doesn't either. The air shifts, subtle but charged. Then Mia crosses a line. She brings a date home, a loud guy with a grin I want to wipe off. No walls, right? She says, tossing her jacket down. He nods at me, awkward, while she laughs. The room chokes me, thick with her carelessness. I grab my coat and bolt, landing at Nora's door. She opens it, sees my face, and pulls me in. What happened? She asks. I pace her tiny space. She brought him there, to our place. She pours whiskey, hands me a glass. You don't deserve that, she says, firm and low. I down it, heat searing my throat, and drop onto her couch. She sits close, her knee against mine, and our eyes meet. The air crackles, and our lips collide, a spark catching flame I didn't mean to light. I wake in her sheets, sunlight slanting through cracked blinds. Nora sleeps beside me, her breath soft, and my head spins. Guilt gnaws, a dull ache, but something else blooms, warm and wild, like sunlight splitting stone. My phone buzzes on her nightstand, Mia's name glowing. You vanished last night, it reads, softer than I expect, a thread tugging at me. I stare at it, heart thudding. Was she finally looking back? Or just checking I'm still hers to toss aside? I don't reply. I can't. The words tangle, guilt warring with the heat of Nora's skin still on mine. She stirs, eyes fluttering open. Morning, she mumbles, voice rough. Morning, I echo, forcing a smile. She rolls closer, her hand brushing my arm, and I want to sink into this quiet. But Mia's text lingers, a shadow I can't shake, pulling me between what was and what might be. I leave her flat, whiskey faint on my tongue, and walk back through morning mist. The loft's empty when I get there, Mia's jacket gone, silence broken only by a dripping faucet. I sit on the couch, staring where her date stood, the weight settling heavy again. Nora's kiss replays, her words, "You're enough," ringing loud. Then I hear it, a whisper from the night. Nora's voice, soft in her sleep. You always. I freeze, the memory slicing sharp. She'd said it unguarded, and it hits me slow. She's wanted me longer than I knew, maybe longer than Mia's been drifting. My phone buzzes again, another text I don't check, and I lean back, the loft creaking. Mia's world spins on without me, but Nora's words anchor me here, and I don't know which way to turn. I can't shake Nora's pull. Its sunlight splitting cracked stone, warm and wild, rooting deep where Mia's shadow once loomed. We steal moments, quick glances over coffee, hushed nights at her flat, her fingers brushing mine like a spark we don't dare name. The loft chokes me now, Mia's laughter a blade I can't dodge. She spins through her electric nights, blind to the fault lines beneath us, until she sees it. I'm rinsing a mug in the kitchen when she storms in, eyes sharp as glass. "Something's off," she snaps, voice tight. "You're different. It's Nora, isn't it?" My stomach drops, water dripping from the mug onto the counter. No hiding now. "Yeah," I say, keeping my tone steady. "It happened." Her scream splits the air, thunder tearing the sky wide. "You? With her? How could you?" She yells, pacing fast, hands slashing the space between us. She's a wildfire, scorching the ground I've stood on, blind to the ashes she's piled around me. I set the mug down, water pooling, and hold firm. "You wanted this, Mia. I didn't." She stops, eyes wide, then lunges forward. "No, we can shut it down," she says, voice softening, hands grabbing my shirt. "We'll fix us. I'll stop, I swear." Her desperation clings, but I see through it, clear as a blade's edge. "I'm not your tether anymore," I tell her, stepping back. Her face twists, rage flaring hot, and she bolts, door slamming hard, a gunshot echoing in the stillness. My pulse hammers, her plea hanging like something I can't clear. Nora calls that night, voice trembling through the line. She knows, she says, she called me screaming, she blames me. I sink onto the couch, rubbing my temples. "She begged me to take her back," I mutter. Nora pauses, then asks, "What did you say?" Her tone carries an edge, fear she won't speak. "I said no," I reply, firm but quiet. "It's over." She exhales, shaky, and I picture her clutching the phone in her dim flat. "She's not wrong to blame me," she whispers. I crossed a line too. Guilt coils in my gut, sharp and cold. "We both did," I say, but she opened the door first. The call ends, and I sit in the loft's creaking silence, Mia's scream looping loud. Later I check X. She's posted, vague but venomous. "Stabbed in the back by my closest." Friends text, confused. "What's this about?" I don't reply. I'm the traitor now, her brush painting me black, and it stings deep. Did they all buy her lie so fast? The next day, Nora meets me at a cafe, rain streaking the windows, her eyes tired over a tea mug. We sit in a corner, the hum of the place buzzing around us. "There's something you need to know," she says, voice low, hesitant. I lean in, dread pooling cold in my chest. "Mia strayed once," she admits, staring at her tea. 2 years ago, early on. She told me, swore it was nothing, and I kept it quiet. The words hit like a fist, stealing my breath. I sit back, the room fading to a dull roar. "Why didn't you tell me?" I ask, voice sharp, cutting through the haze. She flinches. "She begged me not to, said it'd break you." I laugh, bitter and raw. "And this doesn't?" She looks away, rain reflected in her eyes, and it twists hard, betrayal curling back like a river carving its banks. Mia's hypocrisy sears, her screams hollowed out, but Nora's silence slices deeper. Who'd lied more? I stand, chair scraping loud. "I can't look at you right now," I mutter, and walk out, the door jangling shut behind me. Rain soaks my jacket as I wander the streets, mind churning. Mia cheated years before her freedom pitch, and Nora buried it. I replay her rant, her tears, her pleas. And it's all dust now, crumbling in my grip. She's flipped the story, made me the villain, and people swallow it whole. My phone buzzes, more texts I ignore, friends picking her side. I stop under a dripping awning, breath fogging in the chill, and see her game. She's not just losing me, she's losing her grip, spinning lies to keep her spotlight blazing. I head back to the loft, drenched and raw, and find her scarf tangled on the couch. I toss it into a corner, but my phone lights up, a new post from her ex. Truth comes out slow, it reads, cryptic and cold. My stomach sinks, a stone dropping fast. She's got something left, a card she's holding tight, and it's aimed straight at me. Mia's last post lingers like a storm cloud, but I don't wait for its rain. I pack up the loft fast, boxes rising like a fortress against her chaos, and move out within days. My new place across town is small, bare walls framing a single window, grey light spilling in. Her voicemails pile up, sharp, then tearful, then mute. I delete them, each tap a chain breaking free. Nora's voice stays with me, her quiet, "You always," a lifeline through the wreckage. She's there that first night, stirring soup in my cramped kitchen, folk tunes humming low from her phone. Her presence roots me, steady and deep, soil after a flood. I breathe easier, the weight lifting, and feel the shift. Mia's world isn't mine anymore. Her collapse comes quick. Friends drift from her, their texts to me fading as her lies unravel. Word spreads, she's losing them, her web tearing like threadbare cloth. She tracks me down one stormy night, banging on my new door, rain-soaked and wild. I open it, and she stands there, hair plastered, voice raw. "I pushed you out because I thought you'd leave anyway," she says, eyes red, fists clenched. I look at her, once my compass, now a star burned to ash. "You chose this," I say, voice calm but iron. "Not me," she lunges forward, hands reaching. "I messed up, Lucas, I see it now." Her plea cracks, but it's empty, a wind howling through ruins. "It's too late, Jan," I tell her, shutting the door firm, the lock clicking sharp. Her steps fade into the storm, drowned by rain's relentless beat. Nora and I grow steady, a quiet rhythm. Lopsided pancakes at her flat, her teasing, "You're a disaster at waltzing," as I spin her to folk tunes. It's softer than Mia's blaze, a piece I sink into, like a tree reclaiming earth after chaos. Mia's open gate didn't just break us, it carved my path here, to Nora, to something real. I check X weeks later, her posts gone silent, her spotlight snuffed out. A pang hits, quick and sharp. She chased freedom and torched herself instead. I set my phone down, Nora humming beside me, and release her ghost. The last echo dissolving into the dark. A letter slips under my door one morning, Mia's scrawl jagged on damp paper. I pick it up, the flat still but for a dripping faucet, and sit at the table. My fingers shake as I tear it open, her words spilling raw. "I chased freedom and lost you," she writes, ink smudged. "I'm sorry, Lucas. I was scared you'd leave first, so I ran. Too late now." My chest tightens, a dull ache flaring, and I read it again, her regret cutting deep. She'd caged us both, then blamed me when the bars snapped. I almost fold it back, a reflex to hold her one last time, but my hand steadies. I strike a match, the flame hissing alive, and watch it catch. Paper curls, words blackening to ash in the sink, smoke rising like a final goodbye. Her storm's over, and I won't carry its weight. Nora comes home that night, rain on her coat, and finds me by the window, ash streaked in the sink. "You okay?" she asks, dropping her bag, eyes tracing mine. I pull her close, her warmth a tether I choose. "Yeah," I say, firm, "just cutting the last tie." She glances at the sink, then nods, understanding etched in her half-smile. "Onward," she says, voice light but sure. "Onward," I echo, stronger now. My phone buzzes on the counter, a friend's text glowing. "Heard Mia left town," it reads, blunt and final. I stare at it, the words sinking heavy. She'd burned out, her stage collapsed, and I was free. I set it down, turning to Nora. She hums off-key, perfect in her quiet way, and I smile, the dawn breaking clean. Mia's chaos had raged and died, but I'd built my shore with Nora, solid and mine. Looking back, I see it all clear now. Mia's chase for freedom taught me it's a hollow prize if it burns everything you hold, while Nora showed me love doesn't need a spotlight to shine. I learned I'm not just someone's anchor to cling to, but a man who can stand tall and build something real from the ashes of what broke. It took losing her chaos to find my shore, and I wouldn't trade that lesson for anything. What about you? Ever had a storm turn into a dawn you didn't expect? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your stories. Drop them below and let's swap some truths. This wild ride's done for now, but I'll catch you again soon with more tales from the mess we call life. Until then, keep building your own shore.